Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and sorry that it's dark. It's just kind of difficult to film in these lighting conditions that it is right now, but I gotta get a video out for you guys. So yeah, today we are talking about why balisongs are strange little knives. Do you know what I mean? Like, they are seriously bizarre. Because just look at the design of this guy, right? I mean, it's a long Japanese tanto blade, you know, not too dissimilar to how the Japanese made their swords in the past. I guess they still make them now, right? Followed by, two handles made of titanium. Now, I know that the balisong, in terms of its design history, is a little bit ambiguous. It has links relating it back to Germany and the Philippines. Excuse me. Personally, I'm more of a believer that this is a balisong or something that probably came from the Philippines. Although, no, I'm not sure what's, I guess the more correct origin story. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If you think about it, the Philippine fishermen would have been using it to, as a utility knife, which makes me really question, are those guys okay? Because, this does not make a great utility knife. I mean, it's got two loose handles, but it does make a really fun toy. I love kind of high shutter speed flipping. Like, it just looks so good. Like, when you do like your weird, your nice little tricks. Like, I want to get that like side on view. Do you know what I mean? Like, ugh. Right, and then you got like. I just think that looks really cool. So yeah, sorry if you guys don't. But yeah, when it's also much brighter, it's much nicer to do these kind of little filming tricks. But talking about how weird the balisong is, right? Like, it was originally designed as a utilitarian knife. Now, I guess in the sense that you can actually carry quite a long blade in a fairly small package, right? Because you do have a long handle and simultaneously a long blade. For that kind of work, it's kind of clever. But there are, of course, many more ways to implement a long blade into a compact carrying method. Which is why I think that the Philippines origin story, has a little bit more credibility to it. It's also really early in the morning, guys. Like, sorry for yawning. But that's why I think that story has a little bit more credibility to it, simply because if you look at the kind of, earlier balisongs, or more kind of traditionally made balisongs, they aren't, well, they're definitely not for flipping. And they aren't technologically crazy advanced. That's why I think, the Germans definitely had access to more impressive technology at the time when this would have come around. And I think just due to the simple nature of it, now I feel like that comes off as quite patronising to Southeast Asia. Which is, by no means intended. I just think, if we look objectively, the kind of bladesmithing. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm still recovering from being sick. The kind of bladesmithing that would have gone on in kind of Europe was certainly more advanced than in other parts of the world, at least during the time when this would have come out. And so I think that in the Philippines, these fishermen were just making kind of DIY, kind of homemade knives, basically, rather than having these produced like en masse. And I think it really is quite a clever DIY invention, if you think of it in that kind of sense. I think it's quite a cool, like, little thing. And of course, eventually people started realizing that, hey, you can then use this as like a thing to do tricks on, right, with the introduction of Benchmade and stuff like that. There are many other videos that better demonstrate the history of the balisong, or the butterfly knife, as Benchmade is popular. But I think that just its inherent design of, it's a handle with two kind of loose, it's a blade with two loose kind of handles. Of course, original balisongs had latches, right, so you could actually lock the handle. which I think a latch for, you know, kind of EDC daily purposes is a phenomenal idea. But eventually we get them evolved into this kind of creation here, and you end up having a really strange design. Like, don't get me wrong, this design looks phenomenal, right? With the jewelling, the metalwork, you know, the titanium, you know, exotic materials such as titanium and good steels. But otherwise, oh, please excuse that. But yeah, otherwise, it's a pretty weird thing, right? Like, no other knives are kind of designed like this. Yeah, they use like scales of titanium and stuff like that, but then you have two pivots for one blade, and you've got like pins that the blade hits against, and, you know, consumable parts in terms of washers that are supposed to be changed every time you disassemble it, unless they're made of steel. But then some people are against the steel because steel washers without enough lubrication can wear into your blade because they're also hardened. And it's like, there's a lot of finickiness, and I guess not necessarily a long way to go, but, you know, I think a long way to go in terms of, you know, peak Balisong evolution. You know, we're only recently playing around with different constructions, because I guess the Balisong in the modern sense is actually a fairly recent invention. Not a recent invention, but like it's only resurfaced recently. You know, in the past kind of, I'm not exactly sure when the Model 40s came out, so that would have been when, you know, the Balisong came back into, I guess, somewhat popularity, you know, mainstream culture, access to the Western market. And the dates in my head are a little bit fuzzy, but of course the Model 40, you know, the 40 models got discontinued in 2010, right? So, and they were channel based, and then you had, you know, BRS kind of 2014, 15, and 13, introducing kind of sandwich based Balisongs, you know, with the Alpha Beast and the Replicant, which were, you know, fantastic flippers, and that was like a Balisong made for flipping. And so I guess originally, you know, with Benchmade were already bringing in the titanium, I guess, as a good lightweight option for a Balisong. So, you know, they clearly saw that there was a market for, you know, this kind of design with these kinds of materials. I think the blade steel was still pretty rubbish, but, you know, blade steels have also evolved at the same time. And for that reason, I think we still have a fair ways to go. You know, Chamwich is a recent thing, relatively speaking, you know, with things like the Tsunami and the Serif and the Swordfish and the other Chamwich Balisongs that are out there. You know, there's plastic Balisongs now. These Balisongs become less and less about the EDC ability and more so about the flippability. You know, most people aren't too bothered about the blade steel anymore. Just look at LDY, they don't offer particularly phenomenal blade steels, but they offer fantastic flippers, right? Don't get me wrong, they don't offer bad blade steels. They're not like giving you like crap, but it's definitely, you know, there's better blade steels out there, but for worse flipping performance, at a similar price range, I should say. Whereas you have, you know, companies like Bali Plus who will also sacrifice on blade steel. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what this is, but they'll give you really good titanium. It's really well milled. It's got the pretty decoration with the jewelling inside and things like that. I'm just personally a big fan of this Bali Plus one. This is currently probably the Balisong I'm flipping the most. I think it's just, the sound is great. It feels fantastic in the hand. It's super comfortable. It likes to fly around everywhere. If you're wondering, I don't run any weights in my Tsunami. But yeah, basically I just wanted to have a little bit of a rant whilst flipping my Tsunami a little bit. Get a video out for you guys. I've been slacking a little bit. I've been super busy this year. You know, it's not even 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like out here filming a video for you guys. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. Tell me, what do you think about the Balisong? Do you think it's a weird looking knife? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.